I learned something quite interesting by losing my breast after having breast cancer that I think is so useful when it comes to turning autism symptoms around, because I really feel that Vanity can prevent you from experiencing recovery and turning your child's autism symptoms around. So I want to tell you about what are those things and how can you stop yourself in the tracks so that Vanity doesn't block your autism turnaround process. I actually almost lost my life due to Vanity. I chose to have implants, I think it was 11 years ago, and they made me extremely ill. Not that many years ago, my hair started falling out, I had pain, I couldn't really breathe, I had hormonal changes, night sweats, I had problems sleeping, pain everywhere in my body, and I was aging prematurely. So when I chose to have my implants removed, they also discovered that I had breast cancer in the capsules that were around these implants. So I know that the toxins that were leaking into my body had also caused this cancer. And I ended up having to completely let go of my one breast. So how ironic is it that in order to be something that I wasn't, in order to look differently, in order to look sexy for other people rather than accepting my natural body, I almost lost my life and I lost my breast. I have this feeling that God removes the things that we get so attached to, that we put it above health, above purity, above innocence, above healing, above nature, and actually above God. So what does that have to do with you and your child's recovery process? Well, Vanity is so much more than fake nails and perky breasts and blonde hair. I also used to dye my hair. I stopped doing that because I don't want to get ill from the chemicals. And I don't want to prioritize seduction and fakeness over my health and surviving and being there for my children, especially after I experienced recovering my son from autism symptoms that many years ago. Vanity and pride is also what keeps us in the city, because we want to hold on to our identity, we want to hold on to a certain income, we want to hold on to people's perception of us, and we want to hold on to comfort. And I know that I had to move out from the city in order to recover my child, and I had to let go of the vanity of being someone in a high-paid job that I got a lot of respect for. But vanity and pride also keeps us from removing gluten. Even though gluten and dairy are some of the most extreme tantrum triggers and they cause autism symptoms in so many children, but many of us struggle to even remove those two food groups because we don't want to upset people, we don't want to be difficult, and we don't want our children to be different than other children. And that is vanity, it is pride, because it has to do with us wanting acceptance from man, woman, people, the ways of the world, rather than taking the sacred assignment of turning autism symptoms around that God gave us when we were given autism as a sacred assignment. Vanity is also what keeps us from following the directions, from leaning on experts, from leaning on mainstream experts, it doesn't keep us from leaning on them. It actually keeps us from following intuition and following God's guidance for what we need to change. When there's autism, we need to change everything in our lives that is toxic, that is not innocent, that is not natural, that's not pure. So we need to remove those things from our lives. But vanity and pride lets us lean on experts and want to be like other autism moms and want to fit into this world, fit into society, where autism actually is here to do the opposite. It is here to question society. It's here to question mainstream medicine and mainstream expertise, because the people who diagnose our children do not know about the underlying issues that cause the symptom, such as pyrrole disorder, undermethylation, toxicity, food intolerances, gut imbalance, neuroinflammation, and so many other things, which is something that I've created a lot of other videos about that you can find on this channel as well. So vanity keeps us off track. So I want you to consider, where in life are you seeking approval and attention and comfort, and where are you pleasing others rather than seeking health and truth and nature and recovery, plus following the guidance that you're getting from above, from God and from your child and the symptoms, asking you to change everything and be bold and courageous enough to remove the ways of the world, the toxic food, the junk food, the stress of the city, the stress of maybe keeping up 2 full-time jobs and having to live somewhere toxic to do that. All the things that you're holding on to that's keeping you from experiencing full recovery. I know that for me, I had to leave the city, I had to leave Vanity, I had to leave autism mom communities. And here's one interesting last final point I want to make, and that is, what is it that this autism community is all about? It's about pride. We are also always talking about autism pride and autism acceptance. And pride in itself is such a dangerous thing to seek, because pride is the opposite of humility and humbleness. And it's the opposite of leaning into this in faith. Pride is all about being self-contained and elevating ourselves. And it's also something that causes many autism moms to accept status quo in order to fit into this autism community. It's almost like the process of turning symptoms around has become a hate crime because of this whole inclusion and pride cult that we see unfolding everywhere. So it's no coincidence that pride is actually listed as a sin, because pride is such a low frequency feeling and state of mind. So vanity and pride can prevent autism turnarounds and autism recovery. And I just want you to take that into consideration. It doesn't mean that you have to look like crap or give up on everything that I've given up on, but there will be things in your life that you're holding on to out of pride that you can let go of in order to speed up the recovery process for your child.